Welcome to my latest painting update. There's a huge storm raging outside and there's a lot to get through this week. In fact, there's more to get through than I'm showing you here because not everything would fit in the frame to begin with. So, a quick introduction. There are some Border Reavers, there's my English Civil War set, there's some Evil Witches, and not shown here, there's a Landsect gun and crew. So what I'm going to do is break these up and go through them in smaller groups. Right, let's start with the largest contingent, the English Civil War. These are all from Hokahay Miniatures, and they're lovely characterful sculpts, and I bought 3 basic sets, so I had a sampling of the different troop types. Remembering, of course, I'm not using these for English Civil War, I'm using them for a English Civil War-ish fantasy role-playing game, and maybe later for a skirmish game. So I started with some musketeers. There we go, musketeers. So 6 of those, and then 6 pikes, which there we go, really nice, which I've given razor sharp steel pikes to, obviously, and I've suffered for that with blood. So they're the 2 sort of basic troop types. Then I got this command set, which has 5 chaps in it. Rather nice officer, drummer, couple of sergeants with halberds. There we go. And I'm going to move the drummer for my pièce de résistance, a standard bearer. Look at him. There we are. Now, this wonderful flag is not by me. This flag is by Adolfo Ramos, who's a Spanish gentleman, and he provides these pre-mounted on poles with the filials and everything. This is the first flag I've used that I've not made myself. I thought I'd go for something special for this little set because I only needed the 1 flag. And I think it's brilliant. Really adds to it. It is unfortunately a royalist flag, but you can't have everything. The parliamentarian flags were universally dull in the selection I saw, so I went for royalist. Never mind. All right-thinking parliamentarians can hunt this guy down, capture the flag, and have it as a wonderful war trophy. So there we go. What is that? 17 English Civil War miniatures added to the swashbuckling set. Next up are the last of my Border Reavers, also from Hokahay Miniatures. I bought this extra set. I thought I'd done with Border Reavers, but I bought this extra set because they had this chap here with a torch setting fire to stuff, which is good, and then there's this chap holding a head, and these are generally sort of nasty, more bandity types. Oh, and there's this guy here. He's got a crossbow. He's also got a really awful face, which we'll get to in a minute. So I got these. These are a decent set of actual, bandit, low-life scum. They're not Jim Bowen sculpts, although part of the bodies are, and they've had bits added to them. And the bits they've had added are not very good, in my opinion. Also, you see this guy's got a short sword because it's been miscast. These had the usual as I've come to expect now. Holes in the casting that lead to big interior cavities. They're not cast very well at all. Some of the English Civil War miniatures had minor imperfections, but not as bad. I'm just trying to find one that I think it was the standard bearer. Let me get the standard bearer back. Yeah, here's the standard bearer. Again, he's got a miscast sword. See, it's tiny, very short. There. So, on the main though, the ECW figures weren't, excuse me, as badly cast as some of these and some of the other Border Reavers I've had. This is a recent change in quality, because the first Border Reavers I got, which I bought for my pirate game a couple of years back, were absolutely perfect, really good. So anyway, what can you do? These are the last Border Reavers I'll be getting, and I think now I'm at the end of my ordering from Hokahei Miniatures. I've got everything they make that I want, unless they bring out some more English Civil War troop types that I think, oh, I must have them, but at the moment I think that's doubtful. So there we go, 6 more Border Reavers. Witches, evil, obviously, witches. These are interesting figures. These are resin cast 3D prints, which I bought off eBay because I have a 3D printer, but it's not a resin one. And I saw these and they were really cheap. They're about £1 a figure, and for the human size ones. Let's get a chap in. Here's a drummer. So you see, human size. So the big one at the back, this one, the 3-headed hag thing with baby faces in her gut. She was a bit more, but really cheap miniatures. Smooth, because they're resin, there's no layer lines in them like the detail. Oh, let's see, can we get this? The detail is a bit soft, but that's the sculpting, not the printing. They're very odd miniatures. Working out what's what is was a problem in some places. This one's one of the easiest to work out. Let's try and get. Oh, I can't. Is that? There we go. There we go. So nice detail, a little bit soft in places. Sorry, making the table creak. How annoying. So there we are, 3 hideous deformed hag witches, 1 massive let's go and get 3-headed hag thing. It's like a pustule on her butt. Lovely. Which their mother, I guess I'm using it as. They're going to live in my fantasy forest and things. And a metal cauldron, which didn't come with them. This is from Black Cat Bases, and I've had it a while because it came in a set of 2 when I wanted one, and I did one earlier, so this has been sitting around, so that now has a use as a witch's cauldron. So there we go, 3 hideous witches. I did them in the sort of colours that those chaos mutated peasants were in, because they sort of seem to go together thematically. But there we are, yeah, so about £1 each of them, a couple of quid for this. Got them off eBay, really happy with them. I do have a box of other similar resin printed miniatures, which I'll be getting to as time moves on. And the bonus miniatures, these ones I've just finished. This, as you can see, is a Games Workshop Empire Cannon and various crewmen. So these are adding to my Landschaft set. Again, I picked these up individually off eBay. They work out £4 or £5 a miniature, which isn't bad. They're all metal. Nice sculpts. Nice character, easy to do. I was going to do them green and white, as I have done, but then I thought they needed a bit of something extra, so they got the ochre added in as a dull yellow. The cannon is plastic. Cannon was expensive. Can we... There we go, Cannon. Cannon worked out about £12, came with a plastic crew, which were vile. I mean, as miniatures, they were absolutely horrible. Nasty poses. I've no idea why Games Workshop made them. It's like a lot of their plastic Empire stuff. When they're put together, they just look unnatural. These one-piece metal ones, sculpted by sculptors who know what people ought to look like, are just so much nicer. But the gun was good. The gun is excellent. So yes, although it was £12, that's quite reasonable, it seems. Well, it's not reasonable, is it? £12 for a plastic gun isn't reasonable, but it is typical of what these seem to go for on eBay. So there we go. Got some more Citadel Games Workshop Empire stuff on the way, but taking a break from these now to do some other Renaissance figures, which you'll see as time goes on. So that was it. That's the recent thing. Most recent things I painted: Empire gun and crew for my Landsec army. What's that? Another 6 miniatures, which brings the total for this last couple of weeks to, gosh, 18, 23, 33, I think. 34, one or the other. Not bad. A lot of this productivity down to the hashtag hobby streak, which you can follow along on Twitter if you want to, where lots of us commit to doing a little hobby stuff every day. So since the 1st of January I've done a little bit every day, and I've got, I can't remember the total now, about 80 miniatures completed, and we're at the beginning of February. Very happy with it. Anyway, that's it. Enough going on. This will be too long. There's been a lot of stuff. Apologies for the rain in the background, and the thumping on the roof, which is the tree behind me, which is trying to come down and crush me. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.